Hello, and welcome to this episode of the K&Co Tech Pod. I'm your host, Shelly Kramer, Principal Analyst here at Kramer&Co. And I'm joined today by my fellow analyst, Bob Laliberte. Bob, welcome. It's good to see you.
Thanks, Shelly. Great to see you as well. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Well, this is our show. So this week, Cisco held its annual Partner Summit event in LA. And I know that you and I have been talking about this and kind of going through some of the announcements, and we thought it would be nice to walk through some of those announcements. So audience, that's what you've got in store for you. So for starters, it's clear that Cisco is leaning into its strengths in network and infrastructure management, and while also adapting to the unique demands of AI workloads that are our collective reality today. I think the company's news coming out of the Partner Summit includes some significantly expanding its data center portfolio, introducing AI-focused servers and pre-configured AI pods, which are kind of cool. And so, Bob, I know that you're a network and infrastructure guy. What did you think about some of these announcements?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, these are things that we've obviously been briefed on over the course of the last several months. Clearly the focus through all the spring shows and at Cisco Live was around AI and that shift to supporting those AI environments. And so what you're seeing, the good part is you're starting to see them executing against that path and those messages that they gave us back in June. And so you're starting to see, like you said, those Cisco data center and AI ready announcements that came out, especially the validated designs and AI pods.
Right.
I find this really, really great because some research that we did earlier this year highlighted that the number one way that organizations, that vendors can make their users feel more comfortable deploying, especially like Ethernet solutions for back-end AI, is to provide those validated designs for them. Yeah. So I think anything that a vendor can do to do that, and clearly Cisco has taken that to heart. That's what they're bringing out with their validated designs, and beyond that, the AI pod. So if you think about it, it's got Cisco compute, the NVIDIA GPUs and DPUs, the Cisco switches, the Cisco optics. I think they're leveraging the vast data storage and NVIDIA, right? So all that AI enterprise that they're bringing out as well. So a combination of putting all the pieces of the recipe together and making it a lot easier for organizations to accelerate. So while organizations are still trying to figure out what the ROI is for a lot of this, they're spending a lot of money to deploy solutions to try and figure it out. And so Cisco obviously wants to be in a position to help organizations do that.
Well, and serving up plug and play solutions is attractive. You're right. I mean, that's what customers want. One of the things I wanted to step back and say, Cisco published its AI readiness index. And, part of why this news is so significant is that study indicated that while 89% of IT professionals reported they plan to deploy AI workloads within the next 2 years, only 14% of them report having an AI-ready infrastructure. Now, I know that doesn't surprise you. It doesn't surprise me. But this gap, of course, represents a substantial market opportunity. I think that McKinsey's projection was that Gen AI could add up to 4.4 trillion annually to global economic output. So, of course, organizations everywhere are sort of scrambling to have their ducks in a row as it relates to infrastructure and the ability to have an AI-ready infrastructure. So these announcements made a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're also, the other important part of that from a network perspective was their announcements around hyperfabric and hyperfabric AI. Yeah. And the reason that's important is they had launched and talked about the Cisco cloud networking. And so what you're seeing here again is them executing against that and being able to bring out a cloud-based network management solution for organizations deploying if they're leveraging hyperfabric for both the back-end networks, right, which is all the GPU connectivity, as well as the front-end networks. And so that's super important. Again, our research showed 45% of organizations, almost half, right, wanted to have cloud-based network management. Another 39% said we want it to be hybrid, so both in the cloud or on-prem. So I think you're seeing, right, the vast majority of organizations recognizing the value of having that, and you're seeing Cisco be able to turn the dial a little bit faster here on executing and being able to deliver and making that shift from just on-premises only network management to cloud-based. So those things are super positive. Glad to see it. Seeing a lot of the consolidation happening as well. So I think that's, of AI assistance, et cetera, those types of things. to provide a more unified solution for organizations.
Yeah, I think that's attractive. So, what do you think about these announcements? In light of the competition. So, Dell, HPE, Lenovo, they're not sitting on their hands. They've all made similar moves to capture the enterprise AI infrastructure market. Where do you see, Cisco fitting into this ecosystem and positioned against its competitors?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great question because the competition is fierce.
It
Every
is.
show we went to this spring was all about AI,
Yeah.
right? And all about putting together fully complete packages and solutions. Clearly, Cisco's been known for a long time as that networking leader.
Yep.
So obviously, they've got great customer, right? Almost more than half of the organizations out there will have Cisco deployed in some form or fashion. So they've already got an in there, and now it's just about how can they capitalize on where they have with their existing customers to help them accelerate their AI journeys. And so I think it's going to be, like I said, their ability, and it's interesting, right, that they would bring this out at the Partner Summit in particular, because so much of their business goes through
Right.
their partner organization. And so they're really, what they're trying to do here is say how they're enabling their partners to go to their customers and be able to accelerate those AI journeys using a completely validated, tested, and designed Cisco solution
Yeah.
to be able to deploy. So I think those pieces of the puzzle, I think, are going to be super important for organizations. And I think getting the partners up to speed, right? Everyone's always been in awe of the Cisco Partner Program, right? They've built up such great relationships. Their partners are extremely loyal to Cisco and
Right.
drive those Cisco solutions. So that ability, it's no surprise that they rolled out these announcements at the Partner Summit.
Yeah, and this is, while the partner ecosystem is a strong partner ecosystem, and I think something like 90% of sales come through that ecosystem, it's been a long time since this program has been revamped. And I think some of the industry feedback has been that it's been complex and sometimes difficult to navigate and that sort of thing. So I love the fact that the focus here is on, sort of up leveling partners and helping them be more successful and serve their customers more effectively. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Like I said, it's not many tech companies can stand up and say we've had 25 years of a partner program,
Right,
right?
right.
Just the longevity of Cisco and their ability to always, step up to the plate when there's a new challenge, when there's a transition.
Yeah.
They've always been on top of that. Obviously, the AI piece is evolving very quickly, and so Cisco needs to really step up and evolve quickly as well. They really need to accelerate their development around that, and so and I think, and they're also taking steps to evolve their partner program as well,
Yeah.
so that they can keep those partners loyal, dedicated, and
Profitable.
working hard for
Profitable, right?
profitable. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that, when I think about things like this, I think, well, what sets somebody apart? And I, as you know, I was just at Cisco's WebEx1 event in Florida last week. And, what we're seeing is a significant move on Cisco's part in terms of consolidating all products under the leadership of G2, and I think that's a really smart move. And a lot of the message at the WebEx1 event is that everything that the feedback that they had gotten was that things are too disjointed, and WebEx is over here and Cisco is over here, and it just felt like it wasn't a cohesive offering, a solution offering. And so, part of the big news coming out of WebEx1 is really a shift in that everything fits under all solutions, all product offerings fit under the umbrella of Cisco. And whether we're talking about collaboration or networking or whatever. And so I think that's a really smart move. And that simplification is what vendors are looking for, what partners are looking for, what customers are looking for. And, it also presents, I think, a big opportunity, because a lot of, and much of what was shared at WebEx1 was that, a lot of where they see opportunity is that, they have an opportunity in there on the networking front, and being able to land and expand and grow that business with happy partners is really part of the equation to success. And, I mean, that makes perfect sense. Nothing revolutionary there, but still, I do like that consolidation. I think that's a smart and important move.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I really like what Chuck did of having G2 be in charge of all the products and having it consistent. It really eliminates any of the territorial boundaries
Yeah.
of the BUs that existed.
Yeah.
I remember from Cisco Live, their theme was "Go Beyond," and I remember writing in my write up of it saying, "Yeah, like to me that go beyond was they're going beyond the boundaries of the traditional BUs,
Yeah.
and they're now going to start doing a lot more, I think, integration between all of them and deliver unified solutions." And then only a month or so later, we got the news that G2 was taking over all of that. So I think having that single person who can look at across all the different BUs and figure out not just what makes sense for that BU, but what makes sense for the customer, being able to tap in to all the products and solutions across those BUs gives just a huge opportunity to develop some really powerful, tightly integrated solutions, leveraging the entirety of the Cisco portfolio.
And that's smart business. I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? Some final notes before we shift and talk about Cisco's 360 Partner Program, which is really big news coming out of the Partner Summit. I'll note that the server that we mentioned is expected to ship by year end, and the AI pods are available for order in November. And we'll be watching to see what kind of traction Cisco and partners get here. And that'll, of course, be the real test. So, Bob, let's talk Cisco 360 Partner Program. I wrote about this a little bit. I wrote about this yesterday, and it represents what I called a, kind of a watershed moment in Cisco's channel strategy. This is a really significant overhaul of the partner ecosystem. And part of that overhaul is really shifting away from volume-based metrics to customer outcomes and lifetime value. And this really, as we touched on a minute ago, it positions partners to capture more recurring revenue and build deeper relationships with customers. And, prioritizing that, I think, and really leaning into partner success I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, it certainly is. Like I said, you certainly want to keep your partners happy. And I think what they've been dealing with is through no fault, right? Things just evolve, they change, they morph. And so you've had this 25-year-old partner program that's just gotten a little bit bulky, a little bit complex, and maybe a little bit outdated. I think that some of the things that I like the most about it is that this is not a flipping the switch day one. This is what we're now all doing. They're educating the partners on what this new model is going to be. They're giving it like 15 months. And from what I saw, they're also going to be ensuring that they collect feedback along the way. So they'll start rolling it out slowly, collecting feedback, making changes where necessary. So I think that idea, that rollout over the next 15 months, I think is a great move for them. And it ensures that their partners feel like they're part of it. I know they've done a lot of research, asking them what they felt, what was wrong. So, dramatically simplifying it. There's only going to be, I think, 2 designations. You're either a Cisco partner or your preferred partner.
Right.
There's going to be a lot more focus on getting everyone trained and so forth on those next gen specializations. So I think overall, everything that I've seen about the program is positive. And again, just like the cloud networking and everything, this is one of these, the proof is going to be in the pudding. We need to see how, as they roll it out, and how the partners respond to it, and how the partners gravitate towards this, and how they're able to leverage it is really what's going to determine its success.
Well, and I do feel like I love that 15-month runway. Everybody likes to feel like their feedback is welcome and relevant and integrated into evolution of things and decision making and all of that. So I like that. You touched on training, and I think this is such a significant part of what these announcements around 360 Partner Program. A couple of stats here. The skills gap in the tech sector, 92% of IT roles are expected to transform due to AI in the coming years, and we have a global shortage of 4.6 million cybersecurity pros. So this investment in partner enablement is, of course, strategic and well-timed. Cisco did a couple of studies, too, that I thought were really interesting. Their research in the 2024 Cisco AI Readiness Index showed that 39% of the organizations they surveyed acknowledged that their staff needs significant training on planned AI technologies. You and I know this, right? This is not unique to Cisco or Cisco partners or any enterprise or any organization of any size anywhere, right? So AI training is something that is much needed. More tellingly, the Cisco Global AI Partners study showed that while over 25% of partners expect more than 75% of their revenues to come from AI within 4 to 5 years, okay, that's a lot. 25% of partners expect more than 75% of their revenue to come from AI, but they face obstacles in, tech deployment experience. 62% say they're challenged by that. Systems knowledge, 56% said they're challenged by that. Their customers face similar challenges with AI talent gaps. And, 70% of the people responding to surveys, Cisco's survey here, said they lacked a general understanding of AI tools and technology. That's a lot. So stepping back from that, then Cisco's announcements around the 360 partner program are really pretty awesome. So they're investing $80 million in partner enablement. 20 million of that is dedicated to kind of ladder up training events. And 60 million is allocated for Cisco's preferred partners. You mentioned there's, just two kinds of partners, but 60 million for preferred partners to receive comprehensive benefits. And that includes up to 10 annual Cisco U subscriptions. And so I think this also is probably a smart strategic move for Cisco, because if they make it more attractive for me to be a preferred partner, I'm going to work harder to try to be a preferred partner, right? But this training is all about skills development, and they're providing self-paced options and hands-on labs and continuing ed credits and all of that sort of thing. They're also immediately making available cybersecurity associate training. And this, to me, Cisco has long been, a vendor who truly understands the importance of security and bakes security in at every level within the organization. So I was really glad to see that. What, you mentioned the 15-month transition period. Anything else that stood out to you with regard to these 360 partner announcements, Bob?
Well, I think just very quickly going back to the training piece of this, right? Cisco really set the bar for creating training programs and driving value in organizations and individuals getting their certifications, right? The CCIEs, people have made their whole career off of the training and learnings they've gotten from Cisco. Yeah. And so I think now you're seeing that evolution again, just like the partner programs evolving, they're understanding, and they've had a lot of iterations through this, right? They had the DevNet and things like that they were developing and trying to get educated on. I think now with the Cisco U that they're bringing out and enabling all those different subscriptions to all the preferred partners, they're making investments in AI-powered learning paths. Right. I think that's right. Hands-on labs and so forth, things like that, even getting EDU credits, right? Continuing education credits. So I think those are all really strong and positive changes that they're making. And again, it's all in an effort to better enable their partners and even individual users, their customers as well. I assume will be able to take advantage of this Cisco U to be able to get trained up on these technologies that they need to. And like I said, they're really world-class in how they do that and put together that training organization and the certifications and driving value to both individuals, businesses, and their partners. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do that. Like I said, the proof is in the pudding with the program. I know they're going to be rolling out. You mentioned security a couple of times. If I'm correct, I think they're starting out with the security value index first. So it'll be great to see the results of that. I expect I think that's sometime around RSA. So it'll be a good proof point to come back and talk to some of the partners around then to find out how that's going. How do they like it? Start getting feedback from people that are using the Cisco U. Right. So I think, like I said, I think there's obviously change is inevitable, but in this case, a lot of the changes that we've seen from Cisco this summer and into the fall are all really positive for Cisco, right? Driving a lot of these AI solutions, accelerating AI journeys, but also enabling their partners, understanding what it is they need to make sure that they're able to have, make sure they're able to protect all the investments they've made in Cisco, making sure they're staying, highly profitable, and are able to, maintain those strong relationships with their customers and with Cisco. So a lot of good things coming out of Cisco. The question is, how fast can they implement them? Obviously, it's a 15-month journey for the partner program,
Right.
but I know from the product side, we're all pushing them to move faster and faster. So G2, great that you have that job. Sorry to put that burden on you. But really, that's what I think that's what a lot of people are looking at. They want to see the goodness that can come out of this combined integrated portfolio.
I agree. I agree. Well, we are looking at this and seeing a well thought out and much needed evolution of Cisco's channel strategy, as you mentioned, Bob, by emphasizing value creation and making many investments in partner capabilities and training and upskilling, and then, of course, simplifying the structure of the program. This framework should serve partners very well and their customers as well. So, one of the statements made from the keynote stage that really resonated for me is, we talk a lot, and this isn't new, conversations about strategic partnerships and alliances and supporting partners within your ecosystem and that sort of thing. But this statement made from the keynote stage was, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think that going fast is great, but we all have seen people going fast and fizzling out. So I think, moving quickly, but also being able to go far, I think that's a legitimate goal, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yep. And I think that far piece is enabled by the tighter integrations across the different BUs and portfolios. So, as we all know, these modern environments are way more complex. They're far more distributed. You've got applications across data centers, multiple public clouds, edge locations. AI's, rapidly coming in and driving more complexity. So organizations need to turn to a trusted partner to be able to do that. And that's what Cisco and its partner ecosystem is looking to do. And I think with G2 running the entire product portfolio and being able to drive some of those tighter integrations, right? Getting more, I know from networking, it's from my perspective, it's kind of like saying we want more cowbell, we want more Thousand Eyes, get us more Thousand Eyes out there, right? Being able to, right, in these distributed environments in particular, that ability to have insights into the public network is going to be hugely important for these organizations. So driving more tightly integration with that, having more tightly integrated network and security is certainly going to be beneficial. So like I said, I think there's lots of opportunity there. There's lots of ways for them to do that. And like you said, it's not just about, yes, they need to move fast, but they also need to make sure they can keep their customers and their partners on track to have a far-reaching and long-lasting relationship with them.
To our viewers and listening audience, this is Shelly Kramer from Kramer & Company Research. Thank you so much for joining us today for our coverage of enterprise and emerging tech news. And if you've not yet hit that subscribe button, we'd love for you to do so. And we'll see you back here next time.